What's going on, everyone? It's time for another thriller film review. This one's also marketed as a horror film, but it's more of a thriller. Today we're going to talk about a film called The Sleep Experiment. It's released November 12th, no, November 1st, 2022. It's directed by John Forley, who did films like The Last Jedi, Different, Chloe, and Alone. So this is a thriller. It's a British thriller, and it's based on the Russian sleep experiment. And so a British doctor is trying to see what would happen if people stayed awake for 30 days. So you get at some high-end prisoners and that have done some serious crimes, and offered them, if they survive the thing, they'll get a reduced sentence or stuff like that. And they have this special gas that keeps them awake, and they go, and slowly the prisoner's mind starts to go, and it becomes, you could see a lot of depravity and mental stress, and eventually it all goes out of control. So, yeah, this film, I had low expectations for this film. The trailer didn't make it look that good or anything like that. I thought it was going to be really dull. I thought it was going to be the sleep experiment meant that it'll be so slow and boring that it'll put me to sleep, but boy, was I wrong. So this is a very heavy character-driven story. It starts off with the interview with the doctor, who with two detectives who are investigating what happened because 9 people died, and you learn more about the experiment and the characters through this chapter. It's filmed in chapters, so as the film goes on, you get to know these character dynamics really well, which I was actually really impressed with. And they actually all sort of have something in common, and they're kind of all linked together, which they kind of go about throughout the story. And but then once the craziness starts, it kind of seems random, but then they does like a 180 to read it, do it, and you also learn more about the doctor, which is a little more darker and sinister intentions than you expect. Overall, I thought this film was pretty good. It's beautifully shot. The acting is pretty good for the most part. There's like 1 or 2 characters that the acting seemed kind of forced a bit. The music wasn't too bad. It was pretty subtle, so not too much there. And overall, I thought the whole film in general was pretty decent. It was better than I was expecting, and it wasn't really gripping. They kind of toned it down a lot from like what actually happened with the sleep experiment. I've researched that all through COVID because I found it interesting, and but for what they did, it made sense and stuff. They did have some like little horror elements mixed in there too, which made it a little more spooky, and especially near the end. And but it has your cliche type of twist at the end. And overall, though, I did think it was a pretty good film. And besides some like wooden acting from some of the characters, and some typical plot points and stuff, well, that weren't really inventive. Other than that, I thought this film was pretty decent. So I'll probably give it a 4 out of 5. It's a pretty interesting, thought-provoking story, and it's also just once you watch it, you realize that there's something like this actually happened back in like the 60s or something, and they toned it way down for the film, where it got even worse, so it's way more gruesome and stuff. You should look that up if you find this movie interesting. But and after realizing that, it's pretty disturbing when you realize it. So overall, you should check it out. It is free on Tubi, so I'll link it down below so you can watch it for free. Also, link down below is my Instagram, that's where I always post clips of films and review in the future. All my stories, the film title hashtag, the subject of the film, and a hashtag, so you're aware of it. Also, my Letterbox down below, Dave P reviews. That's where I post my first star rating right after watching the films. And my Twitter's down below, reviews_Derek's. Follow me on those platforms. Stay in loop with this channel. Like this video, share it so more people aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any. If you have any films or film franchise in any genre and on any streaming service I will hear my opinions on in the future, comment them down below too. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. Make sure you subscribe. Hope you find some weird, obscure, and odd that you probably never thought of checking out together. And also, so you hear my opinions on popular films, so come out classic films and reviews on other things as well. And don't forget to ring that bell because we're going to talk about like an action adventure film, The Northman, in the next review. So make sure you tune in for that. Watch out for all those crazy scientists trying to keep us all awake. And I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So until then, cheers.